Hey everybody, good morning. How are you? Belinda Wasser here, founder and chief cheerleader at the Virtual Assistant Connection. I'm here with my favorite client, don't tell the other ones, Diane Spadola, who we've been working together a long time. How long has it been? Like 3 years?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably closer to 5, maybe
Wow,
more.
wow, 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 wow. So Diane and I work together every week. It's really fun. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and what you're up to?
Sure. Prior to COVID-19, I was a face and body painter. I provided artistic entertainment for corporate and private special events. Now, at the same time, I had actually for years been asked by many other people in the industry to share helpful hints, marketing tips, business development ideas with all kinds of people all over the world. So about maybe 3, almost 4 years ago, I decided to create a course and see if I could enroll other face and body painters in a course that would help them to ramp up their business. So now I have a course, I have a Facebook group, I have a mini course, and shortly I'll be launching a membership group for any type of party entertainer that is interested in turning pro.
On Monday.
On Monday.
Because Diane and I are going to be working on that a little bit on Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm a little nervous, I'll have to say.
Yeah, it's going to be great. You're a pro. You're totally a pro. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the debit card. So for those that are new, because we have so many new people in the group every single day, so my business, my VA business, I've been a VA for 9 years, is called RocketGirl Solutions. So I have something called the RocketGirl debit card, it's a virtual debit card, and my clients prepay 5 or 10-hour chunks. And it's kind of like a package, but I just call it the debit card. They prepay the time, and then I work it down. I let them know every Monday morning how much time is left, and I send them an email so that they can reload their debit card whenever the balance gets low. So Diane's been a debit card client for since the beginning, because I've been doing this for 8 years. But tell us a little bit about your experience, and specifically, how did it feel when I said you need to pay up front? Because I think a lot of the VAs are worried that their clients are going to freak out about that.
I guess to me it didn't bother. Do you hear that?
No.
Okay. It didn't bother me because obviously as a party entertainer, I like to get paid up front too. And about 5 years ago, I put in a new process where I offered a tiny little bit of a discount in order to get my clients to pay me in full up front. And as opposed to doing the deposit and then collecting the balance at the event. And there are all kinds of reasons from a business perspective that I wanted to do that. And I found out that the clients actually really liked it. So that was the option that most of them chose. So psychologically, and philosophically, I had no concerns about being asked for money up front. I also knew that because of the nature of the work that you were doing for me, we couldn't really put boundaries around it. So in other words, we dispensed with that whole idea of proposal and then an invoice, proposal and then an invoice. And a lot of that back and forth, talking about projects and how long they would take and when they'd be finished and
money.
Yeah, money and additional time and what happens if it's a rush job. And, all of that, basically that discussion got completely taken off the table. Mm-hmm. I know that you actually work really fast. You're very efficient. I know that you will also share with me things that take a really long time if there's a choice about whether I will need to do them or not, so that I can make the decision about whether I want to use up my Belinda retainer, if you will, on something that may not be crucially important to my business today.
Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome. Now, what about the self-service part? So how this debit card works, which I didn't really design it like this. It was kind of funny. It's become a cornerstone of my business, but I've really kind of tripped on it a little bit and developed it over time. So what happened was I decided that I wanted everyone to get an email from me every Monday morning as kind of a like Belinda tip, so that they would think, oh, what can I give Belinda today? And then about a year later, I decided to put their debit card balance in there so they could see it going down over time, and I wouldn't have any awkward discussions like, oh, your time's all gone, and they had no idea, because that's just really stressful, right? And then I added the component of you can reload your debit card. So now I never have that. So how does that sit with you when you see, you know, there's an hour left and there's the link? Is it a convenience or is it a hassle?
No, it's a total convenience. And I'll be honest with you again, philosophically, you're not the first person to do this. I mean, Easy Pass, for example, they take the money, you spend it down as you go through toll booths and go on the turnpike. And when it gets low and there's a certain trigger, Easy Pass goes to your credit card and gets some more money. So it's not unheard of. I mean, maybe in the professional services area it is, but since you were doing the debit card, I've actually seen a lot more people come out with policies and charging mechanisms that are a lot like that.
Right.
So that notion of proposals and invoice, I think is going to go away. I think if you want somebody to work with you continuously, you have to have the trust in that person that they won't take advantage of the system.
Right.
And I totally trust you. And, you know, the only time that the account gets low and down to zero is because it's sometime between like a Tuesday and the next Monday, and I didn't know. And if you have work to do, you just call me up and tell me, oh, well, your debit card's up. So, but I think that might have happened twice in 5 years.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about the debit card is when I first started it, I was really nervous because every time it ran out, I thought, that's it, they're going away. And what I found is I have clients that I've had since the very first day of the debit card. That was like 8 years ago. So now a client like you, where we're working consistently all the time, and I mean, we have a meeting every Monday morning. So I know where you live, you know, so if you run out of time on Friday or Tuesday, I don't sweat it at all because I know on Monday, because of our track record together, you're going to reload the debit card.
Right.
So that's a nice thing too. I would not do that with someone who is at the end of their first debit card or second debit card. I would tap them and say, hey, your debit card's low. But yeah, with our relationship, absolutely.
Right. And in a way, you know, I also trust that I never ask you for an accounting of those hours that you put against the debit card. I see that in the work and the production that you give me back. So there's trust on both sides. And that actually really helps to create, you know, a loving client-vendor relationship, if you will. And it helps me to know that, you know, I can use a little Belinda, I can use a lot of Belinda, and things that have big price tags because they take a lot of time, which is how the debit card is configured. It's based on hours. You kind of inform me so that I can make that decision. So it gives me a lot of power of how those dollars on the debit card are spent. Right.
Right. I appreciate that. Okay. Well, I wonder if anybody has any questions. It's always a little delayed.
The other thing that I want to tell you, just so that, because you probably haven't even remembered this because it's not the right time of year, I also really appreciate that sometimes either on Black Friday or in the month of December, you tell me that I can preload a debit card and buy extra hours if my budget happens to be flush at the end of the year. So that in that case, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I would prefer to buy more Belinda than less. You know, so if there was a debit card that was bigger than the debit card that I currently purchase, I would buy that one. Okay?
Oh, I can make that for you.
That's nice.
This will be our little secret special debit card. Yeah. I never thought about that, but yeah, and I like that too because I pay my taxes quarterly. So if there's this big influx of money 1 month at the end of the year when everyone, you know, probably about 30% of my clients buy between 1 and 3 or 4 debit cards in December. And so they get all loaded up. And I always think January is going to be like nothing because everybody's all full with debit cards. But that's the month when all the new clients start because they're all excited and they're going to get off on the right foot. And so January sometimes can even be as big as December, which is always surprising.
Right.
Yeah. And
so in my business, things are slow. So I probably haven't taken advantage of that in December as much as other people have. But it's still nice because then I can sort of get a jump on the new year.
Yeah. And expense it in the current year.
Right.
Exactly. Unless there's something else you want to say, I think you've been a spectacular guest, and you've told everybody how much you love it. And if there's not, then I'm just going to click you off and
well,
talk
have I
to
told people how much I love you? Because the debit card is just only one of the fantastic things that you do. It makes it easy for me. I think it makes it easy for you. And it's nice to know that there's no frustration, that it's,
Right.
an easy breezy payment system. So
Yeah, I have zero frustration from it. Yeah, because it's just kind of every Monday or Tuesday, I get a text message, and I have my system set up so it says "cha-ching baby" in a text, and that's Stripe sending me a text, and then I look at my email. I'm like, oh, so and so just bought 10 hours, so and so just bought 5 hours, and that's how I know when people become clients, because I'll have a 30-minute consultation, and they'll decide, that day or a couple days later if they're ready to go, and I just get a text message and with a cute little sound, and I know that I have a new client, or a client is extending our relationship. So that's really good.
right. And the other thing that's nice for me is I know that if I go on vacation, I don't have to worry about bills coming into my mailbox while I'm gone. So I know that money is just sitting out there waiting for me to use it, sort of, in terms of services and exchange. And, I don't come back to, oh my gosh, I have to pay this and I have to pay that. And I just spent a boatload of money on vacation. So it's a really nice way of me being able to manage having you as my super VA. I wouldn't say you're a VA, you're a super VA.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to look forward to working on your sales page tomorrow, and we're going to launch your membership site on Monday. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. I'll be counting down to midnights.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All righty. See you. Bye.
Hey, everybody. So that was my client, and we've become friends, Diane Spadola. One time she was driving through Connecticut, and she pulled off the highway and came to my house, and that was really nice. So what I want to do real quick is just to let you know, you're going to be hearing about it all day. The first thing I should have said is Happy Virtual Assistance Day, you guys. It's Virtual Assistance Day. Who knew that, right? So let's celebrate that today. And I'm going to be in the Facebook group all day. You're going to be getting some emails from me about the VA Connection VIP Club. I'm here to answer questions. My cell phone, if you want to text me, is 617-755-6010. Love to answer your questions. Love to have you come on in. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.